What is up, everybody? Happy Sunday. Welcome to the Sunday Open. I'm Nick, joined by three very wonderful people. I have the pleasure of doing this show amid the chaos that is this Sunday Open, this Globex Open that we have just gotten underway here in the last 60 seconds. Indices have already gapped up, but as I said, I have some guests with me. I have the pleasure of being joined by Pax, Stowe, and Sara for this lovely Sunday evening. And I'm actually thrilled. This is a really cool way that we can kind of kick off the week and have a little fun. And I could not have asked for a more, I would say, more fun open than this, given all of the things that have transpired over this last weekend. Or if you have not been paying attention, or you decided to call it a week a little early on Friday, you might have missed a large liquidation that leads us into what is kind of causing this bit of chaos here that we are unfolding with thus far. So, Pax, Stowe, Sara, how you guys doing?
Hey, brother.
Nick. Great to see you guys all. Sara, you look lovely. I should have said that earlier, but I was scrambling out of shorts.
Okay, thanks, Pax. Did you get all out?
I did, yeah. I got lucky. I got lucky. I got out at a pretty decent price, yeah.
Okay, good.
Well, guys, since we have four people on this stream and we're going to do things slightly a little bit different tonight, we're going to keep the same look and feel of the show. We're going to go through still a rough market prep for what you guys can expect this week, but I think we're going to have a little more open forum discussion as well of what may transpire. Stowe may even take a trade. We'll see if we can get him to potentially find an opportunity in this tonight. But we're going to be talking about what is on the docket as well for this week and, what we can kind of expect. So without further ado, let's go to the charts. So as I was saying, let me get my cursor there. As you may or may not have called it a week a little early on Friday. I know I was trying to. I was almost ready to shut everything down. And in fact, I was working out in my garage right as I got an alert when the tweet started rolling from our fearless commander-in-chief saying the magical T word with China, and the markets just had a very violent liquidation to the downside, basically broke that rough balance that we were kind of in towards the end of last week and into the early parts of this week. And weirdly enough, it reminded me kind of like that February OPEX before that, where we were kind of just slowly drifting up, making new all-time highs, but there wasn't really a ton of enthusiasm to kind of punch us higher. And then naturally, it just took some sort of catalyst to kind of push us down the elevator shaft. And what did we do? We basically broke the last month plus of structure and settled on ES at least on Friday.
Sorry, Nick. Sorry. I was in a trade. Sorry, I screwed up the whole mojo.
So we're gonna wrap this up quickly from my end because I want to hear from these three because I think we're gonna have a little fun this evening. But where did ES settle? It settled at the top of the old balance that we were in, kind of pre-rollover end of August into early September. So let's talk about how we've opened. Obviously, we gapped up pretty violently here on ES. So at least going to my execution chart, settling right around 66.60s. Pax, wasn't this a level you were talking about?
66.58 is a quarterly pivot in the S&P. Yeah, I've been talking about it since September.
Yeah, I that number was like ringing in my ears, and I think you kind of mentioned it on Friday as well in the early parts of. I think, in the morning when you were on before Stowe and XY. But yeah, that number was like ringing in my ears and we were just trading at it right now. But so far,
look at them defend it. Look at this, Pax. Look at them.
Well, do you remember when we traded here on Friday, Stowe? When we traded down here on Friday, we crashed to here and then we kind of settled into a range here. And then late in the day, around the cash close at 4 o'clock Eastern, we broke another 80 point after the cash close going into the margin close. You guys all have to understand that there are two closes here that we got to look at. Actually, three. Futures technically close at 4:15, but the cash close at 4. So regular trading hours is done at 4. Then you've got the margin close at 5 o'clock, right? So when we close on our ass like we did on Friday, you can always expect that the market is going to continue to sell off. When we close on all-time highs, there we go. Now we're back below it again. When we close on highs, you can, on a Friday, we rally hard. You can always assume that there's going to be extra runoff on the upside. It's just something that has happened for the last 28 years of my career. I see it all the time. Anyway, sorry, but yeah. So watch, we're just turning. So the S&P quarterly pivot is 66.58, and the Nasdaq quarterly pivot is 24,568. So the Nasdaq opened there and is 60 handles above it right now, while the S&P is getting below it, and that's the pattern that we saw on Friday. The S&P was weaker. The Nasdaq ended up being sold off later, but the S&P began their break lower first and achieved the quarterly pivot first. And once we got below it, then the Nasdaq fell apart. Are you trading here, Stowe?
I did get one in. Yeah, I'm flat. I've been flat now.
I wouldn't trade this shit on Sunday night after a thing like this with my ex-wife's money. What's wrong with you?
This is actually my ex-wife's money. So
yeah,
Pax and I's risk tolerance is a little different with our ex's money.
So are you at least trading ES? Because I don't know how you could even find an entry in NQ right now.
No, there couldn't be one. I think the NQ spread must be at least like 6 points right now.
It is, easily. And then it's still whipsawing about 20 points at a time.
Yep.
So just
wow,
absolute chaos so far. But before we kind of really dive in here, I want to hear from Pax how we can kind of expect to attack a week like this after a volatility event that we saw on Friday. But before we get there, Sara actually has a special giveaway since we are continuing to celebrate 150,000 subscribers here on NT Live. We've been giving things away. I gave away a brisket last week. I think Pax gave away some Ferragamos. And Sara, what are you going to be giving away?
We are giving away a 1-month subscription to our premium service and a 1-month subscription to our new algo alerts, which alert Strat setups on ETFs and the Mag 7.
Awesome. So I believe the fearless admin in the chat behind the scenes has dropped a link for you guys to enter the giveaway. Couple caveats here. Yeah, you have to actually enter. I think this one, you don't even have to be in the US. I think this one is actually open, unless someone can correct me if I'm wrong there. I believe this one would not necessarily be just US and Canada. So someone will correct me if I'm wrong there, but okay, thank you. Yes, it is available to everybody. So everybody that's in the chat can enter this. And the other caveat will be, you have to be in the chat when we announce it. So we're going to be announcing that towards the end of tonight's stream before we get off here. So you got to be hanging. Otherwise, we're going to be drawing another name. So awesome.
We had a billion redraws on Friday. That was great.
There were a few of those every once in a while. Well, I was the jerk that not only gave somebody a project, but potentially a large expense with giving away a brisket. And that they may in fact need to go buy a smoker if they did not own one, for the person who apparently did not actually have one. So
that's awesome.
You gave the option of steaks, though.
I did offer some nice ribeyes instead. They haven't given me their choice, or at least I'm waiting for what the final decision was and how to send it, but we'll see. Hopefully it's a good gift to get to yourself. So
yep.
Anyway, Pax, you've traded every and all kinds of volatility events and situations like this where we get a large liquidation. How are you looking at this week kind of coming in? You have this big sell-off. You have a lot of people that think they can understand, what the reaction will be. Are we already kind of past this with the tariff talk with China? Are we already moving past it and the market's just going to rebid? I'm curious to get your thoughts on how you're looking at this week.
Oh, I don't think anybody know. I think anybody that pretends to know that is making it up. The only ones that know that are Trump and Xi, right? I mean, who knows? I don't like when people blame, things or tweets. We've had volatility my entire career, and whatever the reason was, I don't ever remember them. So who cares? The point is that, there are ongoing trade negotiations between us and China. However that shakes out, I'm sure a lot of it is going to be played out in social media, and we need to be nimble and we need to be able to react to it. Friday, it's ironic because last week I tweeted a couple of times about making sure that we're all using stop market orders, not stop limit orders. And I was surprised at the amount of people who didn't know what a stop market was. let alone, the amount of traders that weren't using stops. And, all weekend long, I kept seeing posts from people that have blown up their lives because they didn't use stops, whether you're talking about the Bitcoin and altcoin liquidation, you're talking about the sell-off that we had in the indices. We are going to have sell-offs like this. Paul Tudor Jones on Monday had talked about something on CNBC, and what I've been talking about for the last month. I've been talking about it with Cags on Friday. I've been talking about it with my group and fleshing it out for a long time now. This price action reminds me very much of the NASDAQ in 1999. And if I was able to, pull it up and show you, I can show you what the chart patterns look like. We're not anywhere near the high, in my opinion. Now, of course, the way that these tweets play out are two very different things. What I think is going to happen is that we find a bottom, we rally. Now, I'm still short a little bit. I didn't cover everything, and I think that the market, as long as we're below 66.58, has more downside. What the market, there's a bunch of different things that I'm looking at. You got to remember what the market does on the upside, the market will in fact do on the downside, and it will do so in equal measure, equal distance swings. It's a concept as old as time. And what the market does above my quarterly pivots, the market will do below it. So we rallied to 68.12, I think was the high. That's 154 points above 66.58. So you swing that lower, that gives us a downside target of 65.04. So I'm expecting the swing to complete at 65.04, and then the market will decide what to do from there. Now, if we continue lower and we're below the quarterly pivot at 66.58, I will trade it from the short side. I don't trade my opinion. My opinion is that we find a bottom, we rally going into the end of the year up to 69.80. That's my opinion. That's my guess. If we stay below 66.58, I'll happily be short because I am 1,000 times better short than I am long. So, I'll be happy as pie to be short. Friday in the stream, we rallied out of the opening range easy, missed it, and then we had that volatility. We had 17. Anybody who's got the PAX opening range indicator on Ninja, look at it. We had, I almost said the F word. We had 17 15 handle swings. That's 17 chances to have initiated trades all the way down from 67.85 to that was the opening range, from 67.70 to 55 to 67.40. Now these are places where you take profit and then you add. Take profit at 67.40, you add down to 67.25. It got dicey at 67.25. I tweeted about that. It was choppy between 67.40 and 67.25. But once we took that out, straight to 67.10, 67.95, and I told everybody in my group not to buy anything underneath 66.95 till we got to the quarterly pivot and we flattened. And then we mucked around there for a little bit of time. We finally took that out, 66.58. Now the swings get bigger. 66.58 down to Stowe. What was the rollover gap? I saw you tweet about it. Nobody
that was
about him.
Yeah, that was 66. It was like 66.11 to 67.06.
66.06 was a rollover gap, right in that area, exactly. So underneath 66.58, now the ranges get bigger. Now we're going to the rollover gap. Underneath there, it's just a time-based trade. The late day trade that we do in my group is just a time-based trade, and that took us down to 65.45, 17 15 handle swings. That's a tremendous trading day, and those come along a couple of times a quarter, and then every 2 years we seem to get a few months of it. 2016, around the time the election, we had a bunch of volatility. 2018, we had the taper tantrum. The taper tantrum. We went from the S&P went from 29.44 to 23.46 in the fourth quarter of the year. It was tremendous trading. And then 2020, of course, COVID, and then 22, we had the inflation break from the S&P went from 48.08 down to 35.02. And then it was 2.5 years later. With this year was the tariff tantrum and all of that craziness, and that was great trading. The S&P went from 61.66 to 48.34. Great trading. Big league pitching. If you want to be a big league hitter, like Jimmy Jute says, you have to hit big league pitching, and that was big league pitching. We had some of that on Friday. What we have tomorrow, Tuesday and Wednesday, I don't know. I'm not going to guess. I'm going to trade my process and stick to it. The house always wins, Nick. The house always wins. And the only way that I can become the house is by placing the framework of my process. And I know Sara does the same thing. You place the framework of your process around this, and you become the house. You become the owner of your business. Nobody else is. So become the owner of your business. Don't gamble. Don't piss away money like all of these other people did. You see these stories constantly all over the place all weekend, and it was heartbreaking.
That was a rough
Millions
weekend.
of dollars.
Yep.
Yeah, millions of dollars lost. Why? Because people aren't using stops. That doesn't compute to me. I don't understand that. And I've lost millions of dollars, but not because I didn't use stops, but because businesses changed, the Merc changed, the floor changed. I got divorced. I mean, it just 08 and 09. I can tell you, my mother died, my sister died, my mother-in-law died all in 6 months. I can tell you that things will change, my brothers and sisters. And if you're not maxing out your profitability now, when things do change, you're going to have to, you got to protect yourself all the time. Yeah.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, you should protect yourself. Yeah, you got to protect yourself at all times anyway.
Yeah.
Friday was crazy for me specifically because it was like, I don't know, I'm in my 5th year of this thing. And Friday is a day that I vividly know that I would have easily been wiped out by 2 years ago, 3 years ago. I had no rules in place to protect myself against days like that. I had no rules in place to see when the context of the day has changed, any of that stuff. I would have just been programmed to buy the dip. And I'm so very, very lucky that I've developed those skills since then. But like, you got to use stops at least. If you don't have a daily loss limit, at least use stop losses. Good Lord.
Yeah. So for me, that context shift on Friday, it really came like the whole week leading into it. Like even the week before, like we were kind of holding that 25,000 spot on NQ the entire time. And it was actually the week open. So Sara and I, when we were on last Sunday, like we watched us like week open right there. And then we're just kind of, we're off to the races slowly, but we're getting there. Gold was taking off. It was kind of a crazy little Sunday. And then kind of fast forward into the early parts of the week, it was the same thing. That 25K was holding. And it wasn't until Friday when we kind of lost it with some force that I kind of took it seriously. It kind of shifted my mindset since it was holding so much and so forcefully the entire week thus far. But yeah, I think a lot of people sometimes just that type of knife catch, I feel like has saved people, or people have been saved by buyers actually stepping in several times during this rally. And Friday was one of those days
dangerous.
Where did that.
Absolutely. Yes.
I can't tell you, Nick, that's such an important point. And especially with the funding, the prop traders now, everybody's used. I'm sorry to step on you because you're driving to a point. I'll keep my mouth shut and I'll make this point later.
No, you're good, Pax. Keep going.
No, keep going, man.
All of you guys, I mean, you're all so young, and none of you have really traded an extended bear market when nobody comes to your rescue. And
right.
So all of these little breaks that we've had, except for the beginning part of the year, have been breaks to buy. So when the market decides to start to roll over, and the rug is pulled, and the funds and the banks and their HFTs and their thousands of algorithms are no longer buying this stuff, but they're selling it. You've got to remember that nobody's coming to your rescue. And then if the tech revolution, you guys ever hear the tech revolution? I was talking about it a minute ago, quickly. The tech revolution, we broke 85, the NASDAQ broke 85% when that bubble burst. And we didn't see those prices for 17 years, 48, 82. It took us until 17 to see it. This is the AI revolution. Isn't that what everybody's calling it? It's scary. It's eerily familiar, this AI revolution. And these AI stocks are possibly huge, gigantic ass bubbles. And when they break, what's the Fed going to do? I mean, gold is no longer a hedge against inflation. Gold is a hedge against central banks losing control of monetary policy. And I mean, we have got gold trading at what 45% higher on the year. We had a 100 handle sell off the other day in gold down to 39.60, and then we're right back. We snap right back. Okay. Yeah. To me, that's indicative of a market that is very, very uncomfortable. Nobody wants to be involved in this. And we turn south, man, this shit is going to fall apart. It's going to fall apart. And central bank isn't going to, My God, the Fed cut rates a month ago.
Yep.
And bonds broke. That's unbelievable, you guys. Pay attention to this.
Yep.
The Fed has no control over what this market is going to do and how much more money do they need to come up with in QE. You know, part of this whole rally was financial repression. 10 years of 0% interest rates. You know, we achieved that 48.82 in the NASDAQ after 7 years of financial repression. 0% interest rates for 7 years. Artificially held 0% rates with negative real yields. Now we've got, you know, and then trillions of dollars in QE. Yeah, how much more QE is the Fed going to have to produce when the market is pulled? So all of these people that have made millions and millions of dollars, you know, buying tons and tons and tons of dips over the course of their career of 5 or 6 or 7 years, as I tweeted today, I don't care what people make in 5 or 10 years. I'm not impressed with it. The only true measure of success is what you got with you, what you take with you when you're done trading for active income. That's the only measure of success. So make sure you bank it, put it away, live below your means, go to church, love the people in your life, love your family, love your God, and continue to bank it and make it and put it away and live below your means. Geez, my God, I could have bought my house with what I made last week. I'm not moving. I'm not going anywhere. I know how quick things change, and I know how quick this stuff. It's scary. So that's on a broad scale, right? On a micro scale, we saw on Friday, or you know, on a smaller scale, we saw on Friday that, you know, anytime you went to buy a dip, you're standing in front of a running freight train. You're not going any lower. And it runs right over you. Now you're flattened.
I think that, I mean, not only the self-confidence that comes from, you know, being bailed out as someone that buys. So like I buy everything. I'm more comfortable on the long side, but I spent a long time, getting run over on days like this years ago. And you know, in a grander way, like, I don't know, 2022 was the closest thing I ever got to a bear market where I had to understand that, you know, shorts get bailed out at the end of the day. Sometimes that is also true. But even that was not a real bear market. That was, even though I forget what the qualifier for that is, but they called it that. 20%. Was it like 9%?
20%. 20% off the highs.
So 2022 counts. Can I count that, Pax?
Yeah, we broke 27%.
All right, great. All right, well, Pax said that I traded the bear market, so I'm going to put that in my.
But not a prolonged one, because remember CPI day in October. This is all off my memory. I'm not looking at a chart. CPI day in October, I think it was October 5th, was when we made the low of 35.02, and we rallied like crazy. And you know, and the Fed stimulus bought toxic assets, just pump more and more money into the market. Yeah, and you know, I mean, it's just one of these days they're going to stop doing that, or it's just not going to be effective anymore.
Yeah, it's amazing going back even to, I guess, when I first started trading. Stowe, you're probably the same boat. Like when I was actively watching this every day, looking at charts, trying to understand how to do this, and I didn't start really understanding what I was doing probably till late 2022, to be honest. But how fast it recovers now. Like even going back to the tariff, whatever you want to call it, Liberation Day. Back in March and into April. Like that was about a month. And here we are like 40% plus higher, even with Friday's move, which is just crazy how fast it can kind of rebound. So I think that also instills a lot of bad habits in people that are, you know, actively in these markets where you just think it's going to recover. I can really buy this, and it's, you know, in the next 3 months, 9 months, we're back. We're going to be 30% higher than this, whatever it may be.
Yeah. Well, I still don't think we've seen the high for the year. Yeah.
It's so interesting, Pax, to hear you say all of the, I mean, you have this is what's awesome about, and you've said this in a bunch of ways the last couple of weeks, but you have this bearish macro thesis that you are very passionate about. Like you've talked about this a couple times, but at the end of the day, you're also like, yeah, and this thing is going to continue to rip people's faces off, and I'm going to buy the longs, and I'm going to catch those points. And
I'll try.
Yeah, right. But I mean, that's the way that when I was done with the day Friday, it didn't even occur to me that people were going to be, you know, in some pain about this day. It didn't seem like that weird of a thing to me. The day showed itself to be something, and then blink of an eye turned into something else. And then I got done with the day. I was like, whew, I can't believe I got to text Jim that we hit that roll gap. I can't believe we hit that roll gap today. And then I was done. And It wasn't until I was reading the internet over the weekend I was like, wow, some people got really hurt. But I'm just turning the page, man, because you have to.
Have to. You know, one thing Friday was like oh my gosh, it's the worst day ever. It's the worst day in a year. It's the worst day this. It's the worst day that. And for some people, you know, maybe it was, but it's not the end of trading. You know, we're open again now, and we're going to be open Monday. It's not Friday was not the last day of trading. No matter what happened to us, no matter how great our days were or how bad they were, they weren't the last day of trading.
Yeah.
Sarah, well, you've been awfully quiet. I'm sorry, I'm talking too much, but I'd love to hear your thoughts.
Yeah, and if we can pull Sarah's charts too, that probably would be helpful.
You have all the wisdom packs. I'm just listening.
Oh, I don't know.
So I just posted in chat. Gold is inside day and up, so get ready. This is just like last week, Nick. We had the same exact setup, inside day and up. Oh, I think I said week. Inside day and up. We had the same setup last Sunday, which is what's happening again today. So we should hit a new all-time high either tonight or tomorrow. Not shocking.
Which is crazy with gold when you really think about it.
What'd you say?
It's kind of crazy after that, like a similar liquidation that we saw on Friday, basically in gold. I think that was what, Wednesday or Thursday last week. Yeah, you got that candle right there. I can see it.
Thursday. Yeah.
How fast that quickly bounced off, I think like 39.60, which was a level I was watching. And then here we are right back to those highs again, which is nuts.
Yeah. It took out whoever stops were there this day, Tuesday, 10-7. So anybody who was in Tuesday or Wednesday got knocked out on Thursday for them to just go right back up. So, you know, we're always talking, us Stratters are always talking about broadening formations, or so this is a lower time frame broadening formation. So we expect new highs there. This gap up kind of sucks because how are we going to get out of this candle?
Yeah.
So it's going to be, unless we get some like crazy volatility, expect like a lot of chop because we're just going to be really stuck. We're not going to be able to move anywhere. Currently, like what I would really love is for us to go outside month, but where we're opening is not very likely right now. Outside month means we took out last month's highs. What is this month? We took out September's highs and then failed. So if we continue to keep trending down, we would look to take out last month's lows. So for ES, it would be like 64.27. Me personally, same as Pax, I prefer to play to the downside. So I would much prefer we puke down to here and then we come back through. Like that would be great. If we just do this, where it's going to probably take a while to get back up to an all-time high.
An outside reversal month would exactly be what I'd be looking for. Yeah. What's the low that you have? What's the low that you've got for September?
64.27.
Oh, okay.
Which is 9.92's low. And then there's there's like a triple bottom down here, which is a great target. So in the 64, like 64.17 to 64.27, that cluster right there, all these guys. But we're so far away from that now. We as Stratters, we really hoped that we would continue down and not get stuck inside. Like even if you look at the weekly chart, we're dead center now in this big giant candle. So best case scenario for me, for Stratters, this week, since the candles are so big from last week, we would prefer that we stay an inside week this week and then choose a direction next week. Like not this coming week. So this coming week, Monday through Friday, we would like it to stay an inside week. And then the following week, we want it to go either 2 up or 2 down. Because I don't know how we're going to get out of this. So that's really all I got to say about that. We're just stuck. Let's talk about Bitcoin because I want to.
Please. I was going to suggest we at least touch on the Bitcoin, as Jim calls it.
I'm going to pull up this post that I made on 10/9. This was right after we made a new all-time high. and we had like 13 days of consecutive higher lows. So I was telling people to be careful when that changes. And that change happened on Tuesday of last week. And then I was pointing out this big weekly broadening formation. And I said, once we hit a new, and like this always happens, especially with Bitcoin, once we hit a new all-time high, and I know there's a lot of like long-term, long holder people who won't touch it, and that's fine. You don't have to. But if you're trading it, this is the good stuff. So I was calling for it to come all the way back down here to this pivot low, which it did. It did it all in the one day because it was the day that Trump did his tweet. And you see, we got straight down to that low. So now that becomes PAX. This is kind of like what I want for October to happen. I want to take out September's low and then start coming back through. And if we go to the chart on Bitcoin, that's exactly what happened. I'm going to make this big. Here's the broadening formation. We had a high, a low, a new high, new low, new high, and then we made the new low on Friday, right? Now we have an inside bar reversal back up. So now we want to see that hold, and we want to ideally see another new all-time high. But this was like picture perfect, because what happened was I heard a lot about the margin calls on crypto, and I didn't even know about that, but it makes sense because of this big pivot machine gun, which is, like I was saying, like 11 or 13 consecutive higher lows. So everybody has their stops there. So it just started triggering just massive sells, right? So all through here, all these stops got triggered, and that's how come we were able to hit that target. And then that becomes where you want to cover. You want to cover at the lows. We don't short the lows. We're short from the highs, targeting the lows. And then we want to play the other way when we get a strat reversal. And that's what's happening right now. So hopefully we can get back up there.
That's awesome, Sarah.
Thanks, Pat.
I see the same shit.
Good, because that's
stuff. I see the same.
That's okay. I like it. I like it when you talk dirty, Uncle Pax.
It's unfiltered Sunday. It's unfiltered Sunday.
I went to mass this morning too. Sorry, Jesus.
Hey, you're forgiven then.
Not anymore.
Well, just go back tomorrow and reconfess your sins.
Reset button. Yeah, you can't do. Yeah, you messed up. You can't do a stream after. You got to do stream then mass.
Oh my God. But Sarah, no, that's beautiful. I love that setup. And something on the monthly, and I'm looking for something very close to that too. You know, outside reversals are hugely important.
Yes, we love them.
I wonder if they're ever going to put me on the screen with anybody who likes to buy everything like I do. You guys just love shorting stuff. That's Sarah, Nick, and Pax.
We're adrenaline junkies, I guess.
I better from the short side. It's just the way I am.
Well, I mean, September 21st is when we set the quarterly pivot at 66.58. It took us 2.5-3 weeks to rally 154 points, and it took us an hour and a half to break.
Oh, I've heard it. Shorts are paid faster. I get it.
and how many times was I long, and I got stopped out of my runners in that rally, only having to gap up when I had 17 chances to take profit, 17 chances to add on Friday.
Yep, that's true. Yep.
Hey, we're going to talk about the dollar as well.
Oh, please.
Oh, cool. Yep.
Because I'm pretty sure I talked about this on our stream, Nick. If I didn't, I talked about it on my weekend YouTube video. Pax, another broadening formation, buying the lows type situation. Last week, we had an inside week and up, which triggered, I believe, a monthly setup. Yeah. Hold on. Sorry, I know this is a lot to look at here. Let me delete and then we'll start from scratch-ish. So this is a monthly chart. This is a 2 down. So this would be our monthly trigger. And we go to the smaller time frames to trigger higher time frames. So last week we had the inside week and up, which if it worked, could trigger the 2 down, 2 up month and then blow through these pivots, which it did. And since we took out the lows most recently, so see how we made a lower low to June's low. Now we would look to go and make a higher high So we're looking, you can see by my chart, we're looking to come back up here on the dollar for the broadening formation. So you've got your low, high, new low. We're looking for a new high.
What would that high be?
100, pretty much 100 even.
Oh, that's beautiful. Very good. That's beautiful.
100.055.
Yes, very nice.
And then I don't think there was anything too interesting on oil.
Well, oil's breaking out.
Yes, there is.
Side. Yeah, oil's breaking out to the short side. So I'd like to see what the monthly setup looks like too.
So we're in the monthly setup right now. So we're inside month and down. So your target is new lows. So 55.30 and 55.12.
And then underneath to like 54. Let's see what that would be. Down to the lows of the year, like 54.11, I think. Nudge.
I'm on the monthly. Let's see.
I'm going to change it to an active daily. Oh, I'm going to change.
Are those May lows in crude, I guess, or
yes,
push us down like 53s. I mean, that low wick is like, I mean, we rolled over, so grain of salt too, but like 51 and change.
Yeah, this is the continuous contract.
I think I want to say the low was 54.11, but
yeah, that's possible because I don't remember how I back adjusted these with all the rollovers for crude. So you might be right there.
But I'm not seeing it. It might be 55.12. Anyway, it's down there.
Down there. Yeah.
It's going lower potentially.
It's going lower. It's trying to go to April's lows.
Yes.
Yeah. 55.11, 55.12. Yeah, 55.11, 55.12. Almost $1 off. Oh,
okay,
yeah.
I'm not perfect because that's what I have, the 55.12.
And then hold it there.
Then you could look for a reversal back up.
Yeah.
What's the year doing though? Oh, it's inside year and down. Eek. Well, we could keep going lower actually. We'll have to see what happens. We'll have to play our reversals by ear. Oh, you guys remember when oil went negative? That was fun.
I have the video. I recorded. I grabbed my cell phone and I recorded the dome.
I have a screenshot of it on my chart.
I recorded it. I repost it on X every so often just so people can see that, all futures markets can go negative. And I was screaming that during this whole thing. Crude was trading at like $10 or $12. And I kept telling everybody, be careful, it can go negative. It can't go negative, Pax. Yeah, it can. And man, it did.
Yeah, I was always told it couldn't go negative.
No, they can. NASDAQ could go negative. S&P can go negative. They can all go negative.
That's crazy. They sure did.
Well, it's the future, right? I mean, anything could happen.
Tis the future.
That's something I would have said, Sarah. It's funny. That's great. Those are great setups. Yeah, I see that. Yeah. I always look at the outside reversal dailies, weeklies, monthlies, and then on the yearlies when we have them too. But breakout traders are always going to look for breakouts.
Breakout traders are liquidity.
See, senora.
Is there any other markets you're looking at, paying attention to, see a setup for?
Nope, not really.
Yeah, this is going to be an interesting week, guys. Stowe?
Yeah.
Do we want to break out the ugly chart?
Yeah. It's pretty now.
If you guys didn't know, if you've never, seen
it nice.
Trade on Trade the Close, or haven't had the pleasure of watching Stowe trade kind of in that mid-morning post-Euro close hour, the running joke is this chart used to look a lot worse in theory, just with the color scheme, but it's beautiful now, Stowe. You did a great job.
Yep. It was always a challenge for me to find two colors of bands that would work together in some sort of Congress, and so I just picked the worst colors ever. And then all of a sudden I had to show other people my charts, and it became a problem. So before, when it was just me looking at them, I was fine.
Yeah.
Everything's just gray.
It's either gray purple or gray. Yep.
Look, I'm like trying to.
They used to have shades of
You're making me
brown,
think
those
I'm
guys.
colorblind.
Well, so what I use a monthly band and weekly bands inside of those for context. And we just, whenever something like this happens, like a giant move, you see the VWAP bands really expand, and that's why they're so useful to me. They were
That's
just
the clouds on the both sides.
indeed, yeah. The purple is the monthly, current month, and then the gray is current week. And then we start a new week today. So this is where these weeklies ended.
Okay.
But leaving we left this extremely tight balance that we have been sitting in, I don't know, for the entirety of October, I believe, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much all of October, we've been 750 to 805. So now we're in like balls to the wall discovery mode down here. I'm just because I feel like I've been on the other side of trying to catch a continuation short right out of the gate. I'm going to be careful and look for more extreme pullbacks, like I want to 66.88 is where I'll look first. The other thing I mark is the previous week VWAP closes. I look at those on Monday and Tuesday just for trend continuation. So, I mean, below 66.88, that's where the -1 closed. That's also been a level that was pretty annoying on the way up and on the way down. It was kind of a pivot back here at the end of September. So I'm just looking for that for a retest for lower. Until then, I'll just play the day as it shows up. Like I'll take intraday 30-second opening range rips or, normal intraday setups just to see what the day wants to do. Because I've also seen this stuff get walked back and had a good day riding that trend too. But I do have this in the back of my mind that we have left a mother load of volume up here. Like, holy Moses, the first 12 days of the month, all just stranded back here. So those folks are off sides, and we can go a lot lower, and we can do it incrementally. We can do it in weird 1,000-point NQ down days. I don't know what's going to happen, but yeah.
Isn't it weird that is the biggest volume node up there?
Yeah, I mean, well, I'm using this is a rolling 6-day volume profile. So pretty much all of this volume below 6,700 is from the end of Friday. So
it's blue. It's blue now. That big blue line.
Oh yeah,
It's really weird to me that level is the biggest one. That's the that's the government insider traders right there. They just dumped it.
That's the point of control. I mean, price was accumulating there for literally just this entire.
So that's why.
Yeah. So I mean, it spent forever bouncing off of that level, and we've sold off of it aggressively intraday several times. I know because I've been trying to be long up here, and it's been kind of a pain in the ass the last week. But yeah, if not the last week, the entirety of the month, it hasn't been easy. It's been less easy than it's normally been. So I've had my head on a swivel for that reason too. I was actually kind of excited how I pivoted on Friday. It was a good process win for me. I feel good about that. But yeah, so I'll just look for price to run back up here, 88 to 700 range. And if we pull back down out of there, I'll use that to lean on. And if we break through that, then I guess the party's back on. I don't know. Nick, they put me on the plan show too. I don't really ever have a plan. Same kind of goes for
bite your tongue.
I mean, so you
same kind of goes for NASDAQ too, though. I mean, we spent it had better nodes. NQ was a little better long because we left this volume down here, and I was excited to lean on this, but yeah. Now it's in total price discovery mode too. So I guess my NASDAQ stuff is monthly open like 850 is where I'll be watching. That'll be my little pivot for the next couple days. And then I'm going to Florida, and I'm not going to look at charts for a couple days. That's my plan. I don't know about you guys.
Yeah, I will have the pleasure of hanging out with all three of you this week.
Oh,
Yep.
I can't wait to meet you guys in person. Well, I met Sara in person. Stowe I've met in person too. Nick, I haven't met you. I can't wait to meet you.
Yeah, it's gonna be really awesome to see the team and hang out and meet everybody. I mean, I haven't even met Stowe, Pax. So this is gonna be really cool. My internet friends getting together.
Yep. It's cool, Nick. It's cool. It's fun to see the internet in real life. I've been through it once already. It's really fun.
It's so like weird and fascinating because like I'm such an introvert as it is, but obviously I've somehow created and gotten exposed to all you people and everybody else the last few years since kind of leaving the 9 to 5. And it's just kind of crazy that it's all come to this. And now I actually get to meet you people. So
it is super fun. It's really cool. I've met so many people that I've known, from Twitter, and it's so weird because you meet them, but you feel like you've known them,
right?
Like in real life, like you feel like you're like true friends. So it's really cool.
Yep. No, it's going to be awesome. And apparently they're all working very hard on it so far. They're all flying down today to work on it. I don't know if they're just catching some extra Naples time. Shab.
Probably.
This is just my test to see if Shab's able to.
Shab actually hates the heat, but she'll love the weather now because it's not very hot.
That's true. Yeah, you're down there too already, right? Right, Sara?
Yeah, I live in Naples, yeah.
Ah, that's nice. Okay.
Yeah, Shab, you'll like it.
Shab,
she's always watching. Okay. Shab's on an airplane right now, but still has the chat pulled up.
Yeah.
So any final thoughts there on NQ? Yes.
Nah.
Anything else you're watching?
No, I mean, the only thing I'm just cognizant of now is like, hey, the mood changed really drastically. And the stuff that I look at has changed.
Right.
Just like blink of an eye, the book changed. All that massive liquidity that normally lives inside of ES, zip, gone. Everything was like 20 lots of tick instead of 100 to 80 lots of tick. So that tells me, size down, lean back on, the AA plus setups, limit my ability to experiment throughout the day, just kind of rein in a bunch of my outlier stuff that I've been doing. And yeah, just see what happens. Cause like, I don't know. I've seen both sides of this. I've seen this be continuation. I've seen this get its face ripped off and then continue down. Yeah. So I have no predictions at all. I'm just looking.
Friday was a day to size up.
Yeah.
If you're good at being short, yes. Yes, for sure.
It's just if you're good at trading.
Yep.
17 chances to size up. Whether you like the short side or the long side, you can go back and look at that day in April when we ripped from 49.50 to 55.40 or something like that. Yeah, no, that was a range. That was a great day to size up too. If you were trading the long side, doesn't matter what side of the market, you trade what the market gives you. So we are right now. We're sitting at the quarterly pivot at 66.58. This is the quarterly pivot until January 1st. Right? Actually, it's a quarterly pivot until the third Friday of December. This is the quarterly pivot. The market above this, we're going to rally back up to all-time highs. Below it, we're going to trade back down to 65.04. The NASDAQ quarterly pivot again is 25,570. 24,568 is the exact price. The NASDAQ is above it, so the NASDAQ is going to try to rally again. And as long as it does, we're gonna make new highs. If we get back below it, then we're going to take out that low and we're going to trade, I don't know what the equal distance swing in the NASDAQ is, but we're going to trade lower in the NASDAQ. The NASDAQ came pretty close to achieving it Friday. The Russell is a complete waste of time. The gold, you got to trade gold from the long side. The bonds are I wouldn't read too much into the 30-year bond rally on Friday. It was just a flight to quality or flight to safety trade. I would be surprised to see bonds go back down lower. Bonds going lower means rates go higher. So I don't know what to expect. We have PPI out this week. If they decide to get their act together in Congress and the president and Congress are able to hammer out a deal, then we'll start getting data again. If not, then it's going to be a low data week and it's going to be a trade. Look for trades. Look for, if you're trading the opening range breakouts, to 15 handle rotations, look for 15 handle rotations. And if you get, 3 or 4 or 5 rotations, well, that's a really nice day. You get 2 or 3 or 4 places to take profit and to add. If you're trading breakouts on the strat, then trade the strat, but manage your risk. The name of this game is managing your risk and protecting yourself on every single trade, no matter whether you're trading my process or Sarah's process or Nick's or Stowe or order flow guys or any of it. Manage your fucking risk and you will put yourself in a position to be a long-term profitable trader. If you don't, then you're going to wind up driving fucking Uber. And that's not a place for any of you to be. Now you want to be, to see I'm getting all aggravated again. You want to be a hero. That's what's going to happen to you. But you want to protect yourself on every single trade. You will put yourself in a position to be able to capitalize properly on markets like Friday. Don't buy dips. Don't pick bottoms on the short term. Trade the breakouts. Don't pick tops on the long term. Don't pick tops and bottoms. You're better off selling them on the way down, and you're better off buying them on the way back up. And don't trade illiquid events. Manage your risk. Take your time. This is a marathon, my brothers and sisters. It is not a sprint. You've got nothing but time to make your fortune. I mean, please manage yourself according to those just basic, simple tenets, and you'll put yourself in a position to change the odds in your favor. 90% of traders fail. Why do I want to think, act, and live like them? I don't, and I don't, and I won't.
Yeah, well said. I think
you have to give yourself the opportunity to experience as much as humanly possible, and you steal that from yourself when you don't manage your risk. You steal your own time from yourself. And Pax has had the opportunity to trade in the late 90s, and he's able to tell us that, hey, this price action looks exactly like some shit I saw, a little while ago. And if he did not give himself those opportunities to survive that long, whatever that means to him, then he wouldn't be here telling us about that. In order to get good, you have to see a bunch of shit and learn the hard way. I think so. But you can't do that if you're trying to be the hero, if you're trying to bet it all in one spot. So, yeah. No, there's no heroes in this game either, by the way. 0. It's just you and your money.
Yeah, 100% agreed. And then you see things like this weekend, I guess me waking up Saturday morning and seeing just that, I guess I don't know. I just had no idea people were that over leveraged in very illiquid crypto markets at times. That was news to me. I had no idea that was a thing.
You could do that shit. Yeah.
But apparently you can. And then at the same time, I guess not taking, I would say at least half, but if not 80, 90% of all of that off the table if you have $1 million in some coin that is not Bitcoin because of a couple over leveraged trades, I'm shocked. I mean, I would have been out long before that, apparently.
Yeah, I can't speak to any crypto things. I know nothing about crypto, what it does, what it could be for. I think it's all a little weird, so I leave it alone.
Yep. But with that, we have a winner in Sarah's giveaway.
Ooh.
We do. The winner has been drawn, so we will find out very quickly if that person is still here in the chat. I wish this was the afternoon because we'd have a drum roll, or I guess we never had the drum roll sound effect. But the winner is Dennis Empet. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing your last name, but you've won Sarah's giveaway for 1 free month of access. Was it a month?
Yeah, 1 month premium access to Alex and I. We do live streams every day. And then 1 free month to our Algo Alerts subscription. Awesome.
Sweet. Dennis, if you're in the chat, let us know. Confirm you are still here.
What's his name? Dennis
Empet.
There he is. He's
awesome.
here.
Dennis is
nice.
Here. Congrats.
Nice. We're batting 1,000 on that too. That's good. No redraws.
Oh, good. Good.
Always get nervous. I'm seeing 450 on the bid at 685 on NQ. Interesting.
Somebody's sitting there at 685. They're doing all kinds of fun stuff.
If those are good, then somebody's covering some shorts.
Yeah, I'm always curious to see reaction there.
No, they're good. They're good because they would have been pulled already.
They already filled some of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's always interesting when you see early, because obviously I've done this show for a long time on Sunday nights, watching Globex, like seeing the DOM, and
he's trying to walk it up.
When you see size on NQ like that early into Sunday session, it's always eye opening. As long as it doesn't pull.
If you're initiating, a trade, you don't. Now, if you're actually, that could be initiating a trade. If you're initiating a trade, you're going to be a little more precise in your entry. If you're covering a trade, you don't really care about your exit. You're just going to cover. So if those were shorts, if that was a short cover, I think they would have just bought them.
I know he did pull it up. He did pull it up to 86 though.
Yeah.
That was weird. I don't know. I'm interested in wrestling liquidity when it shows up in weird ways, but I still try to not read too much into it. But when somebody's chasing price like that tells me stuff.
A point Stowe is not chasing.
You don't think so?
No.
Right.
When you got size to do, you don't care about the price. You care about the level. Period. And believe me, I know. When you've got size to do, you don't give a shit what price you get filled at. You care about what level you get filled at. And 86 to, who knows how they're defining their level. 86.06, is it 76.86? Here's another point too. When you need to get out, price is irrelevant. Get out. And so if this guy was covering shorts, he would have gotten out. He's not covering shorts. He's getting long. So he's already bought 100 and at least 100 at 85. He got 100 off. So he's working the order.
You think this guy's willing to to sweep the book if he wanted to get out? He's going to throw 500 onto the Globex book.
Yeah,
that would be gnarly.
We've already done 22,000 contracts, so that's already, a lot of that has already been done. Yeah, let's see if he gets them.
Yeah.
Market always trades to the side. So I'd be very surprised if he doesn't.
Yeah. Same.
Kind of dancing right above him. But while we're waiting to see if this guy's going to get filled here at 686, got to keep the show going, Stowe.
You do. You're doing good. You're doing good.
So as I think Pax was saying too, we'll see if the government gets their act together this week. If we get any sort of deal from the Democrats and Republicans in Congress to end this holdout, shutdown, whatever you want to call it, as everyone's trying to, gain an inch on the other. So we'll see if there's anything that comes out of that, as well as something to keep us all on our toes is the president continuing to tweet about China, potentially meetings and anything else, any new tariffs that may pop up. It's going to be a weird week. But on top of that, outside of potentially not getting any sort of economic data releases this week, they're all kind of parked, potentially sitting, at least, I don't know how accurate this is, but seeing them somewhere around, like, this is Thursday at 5 p.m. So it looks like there's a possibility we may get a large data dump if something does happen between PPI, jobless claims. This is probably older data that's getting rolled out potentially, or at least tentatively, if something were to happen, but we'll see if that actually transpires. But the main event is probably still going to be, outside of anything that the president may say this week, is going to be our loveless, fearless Fed chairman, Jerome Powell, talking at 12:20 p.m. Eastern time on Tuesday. So just shortly after us all eating lunch, Jerome Powell will be giving a speech. And I believe this one is on economic policy, or not necessarily on economic policy. I believe he's giving remarks on overall policy and things.
Oh, something else to pay attention to. We're starting earnings season this week. So that's gonna play a part in the futures market.
Yep. Do we have any big earnings this week?
It's so we have the bank tomorrow, but it's the bank earnings will start before the open on Tuesday with JP Morgan, BlackRock, Goldman, Citi, Wells Fargo,
Visa.
Yep. And we will have a few names in the semiconductor space too. So more AI fun for all of us to deal with as well, with ASML reporting Wednesday before the open, as well as a Thursday we have TSMC reporting before the bell. So some more AI fun for all of us with a couple names in the semi space. So plenty of opportunities for this market to rebid with a couple of those names still sitting here. But I guess I still shake my head at some of this. Just knowing that I came from the Mag 7 space and this stuff, and you see old companies that I used to partner with, work with, that have just slapped the verbiage of AI and just put a chatbot on a product and call it revolutionary and brand new. And then apparently it's worth billions of dollars in market cap. But
that's funny.
What do I know?
Oh,
that's funny. Yeah, right.
It's kind of true with some of the software names. They slap on a chatbot that is some aspect of OpenAI built into it, and they call it a new product, but it's not. But what do I know?
All right. So you see how that 500 lot got filled. So he bought 86s, he bought 85s, and did you see all of the algos that were leaning on it?
Yep.
As soon as those were gone, we traded 10 handles lower.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Gold's inside 15 minute bar broke to the upside. We just made new highs. Intraday highs, not all-time high yet. I called out the inside 15 in the chat. I didn't want to interrupt you guys, but
I saw it. 60, what's the high? 40.80? The all-time high is 40.81 or 40.80?
40.81.
Yeah.
Really
coming up
now, and
that's on tap. That's on tap. So you get the breakout on the 15-minute, Sarah, and then that's going to target the all-time high.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was one entry on the daily trigger, which was 40.38.6, and then there was an ad at 40.57.
Yes, I like that.
Yeah.
Should I would have taken that.
Yeah, so 40.38 ad at 40.57 to target a new all-time high, because we have the inside day and up is in force.
This is the
greatest. Go back
business.
to Sarah's screen so we can actually see what she's talking about.
This is the greatest business in the history of business. Where else are you going to sit here and get? You're going to get a trade like that called out live, dude.
Okay, so we use higher time frame analysis. So you guys saw we were talking about the inside day and up break. So this is I coined this term. It's called our take action window, which is our trigger to our target. So anytime we're in this window, you can be looking for longs. So the first entry was a break above Friday's high, so 40.38.6. Then I was looking at the 15-minute chart. So see how we're in this gray box? This is your take action window or your profit potential from your trigger to your target. And we had an inside 15 and up, which triggered. So entry 1, entry 2. So your break even could be, it would be half of that. Hold on. How do I do that? So your break even would be down here at 40.48, right? So if you took this entry and that entry, your break even is half of that. So you're in profit, all good. You're targeting the new all-time high. Full time frame continuity to the upside is another thing that we talk about, which all the time frames are green and in alignment. So you got all the time frames, literally every single time frame from the 5 minute to the year is green. So you want to be a buyer, obviously. And people trying to short the all-time highs, that's why it keeps going higher. Stop doing that.
Yeah,
keep doing that.
Well, keep doing it, whatever.
I caught one short in gold during that liquidation day that you pretty much could have just jumped along the train at any point. But I really don't want to step in front of this now that we've shaken off that liquidation and are just right under the all-time high. I have no desire to short it this week. Oof.
And that 15er also created an inside 30-minute and up. So this would be another ad actually. So you had a 15-minute, you had the daily entry, you had the 15-minute, and then you had an inside 30 and up, which could have been technically a second ad, right? because we use all different time frames, and everything that we do is either an inside bar reversal or a 2-2 reversal. It's pretty simple once you get the lingo down. Or inside bar continuation, rather, in this case. So yeah, we'll see. But that's the target, 40.81, and then I don't know. Then once we get there, then I don't know. We don't use fib projections and stuff like that. We just say still good, and we can trail on whatever time frame we want. So if we have like last week, oh my gosh, we were able to trail really nicely. I can't. What day? That was Sunday night. Where the hell is Sunday night? Sunday? Here. Like the inside day and up trigger was right there. And then if you went to the 5-minute, you were able to trail for a long time, or quite a while. I think to like up to here or something. Yeah, then we got stuck sideways. So
52.
I think it was more than that, but
Jeez, Bitcoin's getting whacked again.
maybe it was the 1 minute. I don't remember. Bitcoin?
Yeah.
It's fine right now. As long as you're above that high.
Well, indices are unimportant. Not unimportant. They're uninteresting. NASDAQ is 100 handles above that level, and the S&P above the quarterly pivot. The S&P is trading at the quarterly pivot.
Yep.
I'm going into the week flat ski.
So these are your two levels for gold. Do you have another one besides the all-time high? It's 4077.9. Just so you guys know, if you're trading gold, that's a target and that's the target. Oh, there was lots of little 1 minute entries in here too. That was nice. There and there.
Yeah, I got nothing. I figured this would move a little more than it did, but nope.
Yeah, we
All dried
kind of
up.
chopped the gap up and then just chopping around with the pretty wide spread on NQ.
Yeah, quite wide. Yeah,
Yeah, we're stuck in the opening, like 10-minute candle.
Don't look for too much out of this. The move is already made. Now everyone's scared, nervous. So we're going to sit here and churn it in the next couple of days. And we're at the quarterly pivot. We're not going anywhere fast. Unless, of course, Trump comes out and says, psych, then we'll be back at all-time highs.
Gotcha.
But, if not, then we're under a little bit of pressure, and we're just going to turn this quarterly pivot until the market decides whether or not to go back up to all-time highs or to trade down to 504.
Gold hit the first target, hit the target, not the target. See that? 4077.9.
Mm-hmm.
Gold is angry right now.
It's a nice trade.
Ooh, they took profit there. That's why I mentioned that level.
It's a very nice trade. That's a very nice trade.
Yeah, that was a good one. If you guys caught it.
I was getting a little pissed now. Yeah, I might keep this up for a while. I don't know. I don't know what this is doing.
What does that mean? It's getting pissed.
Just the a lot of sweeps on NQ. The bid's getting angry, and then there's this they're having this conversation up here, like 7:10. Spread's getting a little less ridiculous, also.
5 points is ridiculous. A little less ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean it was like 9.
It was like 12 at times.
Try trading the NASDAQ when we were 10 points wide on the bid and offer, and you got 100 on, and that's 100,000 every 10 points, and tell me this is wide.
Yeah.
100,000 every 10 points because we were $100 a tick. This ain't wide. This is these are the minis. This is I would fire clerks. I would fire clerks and have them go trade this. I mean, we all have to keep this stuff in proper perspective. This is the what happened on Friday isn't the last day of trading. What happened earlier on in the year isn't, wasn't the end. It wasn't the end of the world. I mean, my God, look, we recovered. 48.34 was the low, and the high is 68.14. What would say that? I don't even know what the percentage change on that is. So when we, when we learn how to protect ourselves and we can trade the breakouts, like Sarah's talking about, or like I talk about, when you trade these breakouts and you learn how to add your positions and you learn how to protect yourself and everything, that's all you need. It's just a simple matter of banking money, living below your means, protecting your spirit, your mind, your body, and your spirit. Your spiritual health, your spiritual capital, your emotional capital, and your physical capital is more important than your financial capital. Money will come and go, and it will go if you're not banking those other forms of capital. Somebody had asked me earlier, what happens in an event like an MF Global event? Your money's gone. If your firm fails, which is important, it's another reason why you want to be with a firm like Ninja. Ninja is the biggest FCM in the world, in history. You want to be with a well-capitalized firm like that, so that an MF Global event doesn't happen to you, because your money is frozen, it's gone, disappears. That won't happen with Ninja. So be careful.
Singles up there.
Come on, Gold, do it.
Yeah, that was a great trade, Sarah. I got to say, that was great. I wish I was paying attention to that first initial entry. I would have taken it. I'm long gold. I'm staying long gold. I've been long gold since 2019. I tweeted about that today. Oh no, I was going to tweet about that. Instead of buying supercars, buy physical gold.
So like what we do on the Strat, if you want to like lock in the most amount of money, if you partial at your target, you can trail. Like if you want the 1 minute, you can trail on the 1 minute. So you partial here and then you can cut the rest there, because you did hit like a pretty major target. So that's how we can stay in. Or let's see if the 30-second had a little bit better. Little bit better. And then you can look to get back in for a scalp if you're trying to get to up there. So like if we get a 1 minute hammer or something, I don't know if we will. We only got 4 seconds, and then you could try and target like that. We'd have to break above that for it to trigger.
Rally. Have to rally above it. Break is lower.
Oh, gotcha.
I'm hungry.
Did you eat dinner? What are you doing?
No.
I'm right there with you. No, with that, should we wrap it up, guys?
Yeah, I don't have much else. We're just bouncing up here, so
Pax is hungry. I'm hungry. I've got some chili on the stove. It's Sunday. It's a wonderful NFL Sunday because the Cowboys lost, and that made me laugh once
again. Where do you live, Nick?
I'm in Dallas, Pax.
Yeah, Dallas. Okay.
There's nothing better about living in Dallas and not being a Cowboys fan, to be honest.
Same thing with being in Chicago and being a Bear fan. Absolutely.
Sure. So, guys, this has been a lot of fun. And I appreciate everybody hanging out with us here on the Sunday Open. Before we get out of here, last remarks, final thoughts going into the week, Pax?
I'm flat. I'm going to go in flat and see what the opening range does tomorrow. We're churning 66.58, the quarterly pivot. We opened right at it. We're trading right at it. I've been talking about that level since September 21st. Doesn't change. NASDAQ, however, is 200 handles above it. I always like seeing the NASDAQ lead. So the NASDAQ is leading to the upside. Let's see if the S&P follows suit. 60 levels to pay attention to on the upside: 66.95, 67.25, 67.55, and then we're back up to all-time highs.
Awesome stuff. Sarah, last thoughts?
I would just tell people, if you missed the move last week, don't try to be a hero this week, because as it stands right now, we do not have the same ingredients as we did last week's, and we're inside, so don't go crazy. Let them open, let them kind of figure out where they're going, and then we can play our actionable signals. And that's just how we do it all the time. So play whichever way they give us, but let the market tell you. You don't go in there and be like, I missed a short, I'm going to short for no reason.
Yep. Stowe?
Yeah, I guess the little bit of I'm going to trade this week. I kind of plan to take this week light because we're all traveling and doing stuff. A little bit that I trade this week. Trend is down on both high time frame things that I look at. I'm going to use those previous week minus ones for reference tomorrow for both ES and NQ. Those are, let me see. ES looks to be, 66.88, we'll call it. And around the monthly open for, I'd call it like 8.30, 8.20 for NQ. Anything below that, I'm not looking to lean long unless it's a scalp, which is sad. It's sad for people like me to finally have to be in a downtrend that is aligned for weekly and monthly. It's been a hot minute, but here we are again. So yeah, that's what I'm going to look for. And just play the day as it comes. Don't be weird. Don't do weird stuff with your risk because you feel like you need to make money back. That's one of the worst things that you can do.
Yes.
That gambler's fallacy will ruin you. Stop doing that shit. Treat this like a business, like Pax says, like Sarah says, like everybody says. If you really want to do this, like do it for real. And yeah, that means protecting your money, protecting yourself. So
don't chase money. Don't chase lost money. That it's lost. Lost means it's gone.
It's gone.
In the history. Leave it there.
Yep. Absolutely. The only thing you can do from here on out is like stay alive long enough to not screw up the next time.
Believe me, I have chased more money than you guys can possibly imagine, and it only gets worse.
Yep.
Well, on that note, I'm going to let you all get out of here, as well as the chat. Everybody, I really appreciate everybody hanging out with us, having some fun on your Sunday evening. I know there's plenty of things you could be doing. Maybe you should be doing on your Sunday rather than hang out with us, but we really appreciate everybody being here. Tomorrow morning, the NinjaTrader crew will be back bright and early at 8 a.m. Eastern to get you guys prepped and ready to go for the upcoming trading session. And then, so you're back tomorrow too, right?
Yeah, I got two shifts tomorrow, baby.
Yep.
It's going to be fun.
Yeah.
I meant to ask you guys, have you ever, Pax and Sarah, Nick, I think I know the answer to this question. Have you ever noticed any like market implication when the bond market is closed and yet the actual market is open? People are talking about that a little bit today, but like, any thoughts on that?
Usually the indices are muted. Usually it's a quiet session in the indices.
Cool. Just something to keep in mind for tomorrow. Sarah, you see anything like that?
That's a good point. I forgot about that.
I would defer to what Pac said, and to like add to that, we're going to have an inside day, so it's going to be double muted.
Hey, happy Columbus Day tomorrow.
Oh, thank you. Same to you, Pac.
Yeah, well, you're Italian. That's awesome. I'll be celebrating now. I'll be out drinking red vino with my friends, eating red meat, yelling things in Italian that I don't understand.
Hey.
You get that honorary card. You bust that out sometimes.
I like to I can't say what I was about to say, but I was always the only Irish guy hanging around with all those Italian guys, and we would say things that weren't that's not YouTube friendly. I already say all kinds of stuff that's not YouTube friendly.
Yeah, well, we're good.
It's all good, Pax. All right, everybody. Get out of here. Have a good night.
Happy Sunday, everybody. I'll see you tomorrow. I'll be there tomorrow morning too. I'll see you guys on 8:30 Central Time. I'll see you guys all in the morning.
Awesome stuff.
All right.
Trades, everybody. Be safe, and we'll see you tomorrow morning. Cheers.
Good night, everybody.